The sun beat down mercilessly that afternoon, turning the city's glass towers into blazing mirrors and the sidewalks into waves of shimmering heat. Cars sped past, people rushed by with their heads down, and life's quiet opportunities slipped through the cracks until one moment stopped Aaron Whitlock in his tracks and changed everything. Aaron was on his way to the biggest job interview of his life. He wore his only pressed white shirt, clutched a resume he'd rewritten 20 times, and felt his heart hammering with equal parts hope and fear. This was his chance to finally break free from the grind. But as he crossed Western Avenue, everything shifted. A young woman stumbled into the crosswalk and sank to her knees as if the ground itself had betrayed her. Her long blonde hair fell across her face, her red dress catching the harsh sunlight as she gasped for air. People walked around her without a glance, their own worlds too urgent to notice. Aaron froze mid-step. In the space of a heartbeat, he knew what he had to do. If you believe that kindness still has power, that good choices still matter, then welcome to Kindled Souls, where we share stories that remind us the light inside us can change everything. Hit that like button, drop a comment, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss a story like this one. And while you're here, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from today? Your city or town might just appear in a future story. Aaron rushed to her side. Later he'd learn her name was Harper Lane, but in that moment she was simply someone who needed help. He knelt, gently lifted her to her feet, and felt her hands tremble as she tried to steady herself. Sweat glistened on her forehead even in the warm breeze. She whispered that she felt dizzy, that she hadn't eaten since the night before. Her voice was barely there. He guided her to a nearby bus stop bench, using his own body to shield her from the glaring sun. He handed her his water bottle, helped her breathe slowly, and stayed until color returned to her cheeks. 10 minutes passed, then 15. By the time Harper could stand on her own, Aaron's interview window had closed forever. His stomach dropped, but he kept his face calm. He helped her call a ride, waited until she was safely inside the car, and gave her a small, reassuring nod before turning away. He walked in the opposite direction, the weight of what he'd lost settling heavily on his shoulders. At the towering headquarters of Western Industries, the receptionist delivered the news with polite finality. Interviews were over. The hiring manager had already left. The decision was made. Aaron stood in the marble lobby, feeling the air leave his lungs. Kindness had cost him the chance he'd fought so hard for. For the next week, he returned to his familiar routine, delivering packages, cleaning warehouses before dawn, sorting inventory in dusty corners. He never told anyone what happened on Western Avenue. He didn't regret helping Harper. He just wished the world sometimes rewarded moments like that. Bills kept coming. Hope kept fading. He wondered if this was all his life would ever be. But the universe had been watching. One Thursday morning, right after finishing a delivery shift, Aaron's phone rang. The voice on the other end belonged to Celeste Rayner, executive assistant to the CEO of Western Industries, the same company that had turned him away. She asked him to come in immediately, not for an interview, but for a personal meeting requested by the CEO himself. Aaron's mind raced. Confusion, hope, disbelief, all of it swirled as he boarded the bus and headed back to that gleaming building. The CEO's office was breathtaking floor, to ceiling windows, sunlight flooding across polished floors. Behind the mahogany desk stood Vincent Lane, a man whose sharp features were softened by worry and gratitude. He rose, offered a warm handshake, and beside him on the sofa sat Harper, the girl in the red dress, looking healthy and strong, her blonde hair neatly tied back. When she saw Aaron, her smile was one of pure relief and thanks. Vincent explained everything. Harper was his daughter. She'd been under crushing pressure from a major project failure, hadn't slept in days, and had forgotten to eat. On her way to confront a mistake she thought might ruin her father's reputation, she'd collapsed. Aaron had been the only one who stopped. Harper told the story herself, how he'd stayed, protected her from the sun, helped her breathe, and made sure she got home safely. She'd searched for him afterward, using bus stop security footage to find his name. Vincent looked Aaron in the eye. "Anyone can prepare for an interview," he said, "but very few choose compassion when it costs them something. Character like yours is rare." He didn't offer Aaron the entry-level position he'd originally applied for. Instead, he offered a better role, assistant coordinator, with full training benefits and real growth potential. Aaron stood there, speechless, tears stinging his eyes as the truth sank in. He had lost one door, but by choosing kindness, another, far greater, had opened. If this story touched your heart, please show some love, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindled Souls. Your support keeps these real soul-stirring stories alive. And before we go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done in Aaron's place? Your answer might inspire someone today. Sometimes life closes a door not to punish us, but to guide us towards something better. And sometimes the quietest acts of goodness become the very reason our destiny changes. Keep your soul kindled, because the world still needs people like you.